So for today's class, our target will be inputs and outputs. Inputs and outputs. That is, giving an output to the user and receiving an input from the user. Let me make an illustration that may be funny. I want to get money from you. Then I say, Rahab, give me money. If Rahab dips his hand in her pocket, brings out money and gives it to me. If I don't stretch my hand to receive that money, can I get it? She'll be confused like, take the money. Then I didn't stretch my hand. Then she'll feel like, then how are you going to get the money if you are not stretching your hand to get the money? That means to get the money, I need to stretch my hand. She puts the money in my hand. That means the money is saved in my hand. If you want to get an input from a user, you need to save that input somewhere in a memory location. Is that understood? Just like I stretch my hand to receive the money. So getting an input, if you don't save it, will you see the input? No. If I don't stretch my hand to save the money from Rahab, can I get the money? No. If you get an input from the user and you don't save it, can you see the input? Can you access the input? No. How you save in the computer memory? By using what? By using variables. I said it yesterday, isn't it? By using what? Variables. So I said variables are used to what? To save data in computer memory. That means whenever you get input from the user, it must be saved in a variable. Is this understood, everyone? Is this understood, everyone? So how do you get input from the user? So the input function input is used to get an input from the user. And whenever you get the input, save it in a variable. That means you write variable is equal to input. That means the input is assigned to this variable. Just like saying variable is equal to 5. So if the user inputs a 5, that means variable has been assigned as what? As 5. Is that understood? If the user inputs I am a boy, that means the variable has been assigned as what? I am a boy. Is this understood, everyone? Good. Now, any input and to also output. To also output, I've done that earlier. You use the keyword what? Print to output. Anything you want to output must be in this bracket. And that's why you saw in my previous code, I wrote what? Print site3, isn't it? Print word. Whatever you want to print should be what? In that bracket. You can also write print welcome begov. Is what? Is also another what? Another form of output. So if you run this, you can see the output. I am from 15, welcome to Gov. It's displaying a message to the what? To the user. Is that understood? Now, whatever you input or output is always a string. Any input or output is of data type string. Even if you input a number, that number is a data type string. So let's get something from the user. So let's save it in maybe price. Price is equal to input. Enter the price of the commodity. Okay, before I go to this, let me just write inputs. If you write inputs, this will request an input from the user, but nothing will be seen. It is requesting for an input. It's just like me stretching my hand to Rahab and saying nothing. This is the same way. Look at me. Rahab will be confused. Why are you stretching your hand? What do you want? Do you want money? Do you want cake? Do you want to eat? Do you want food? Do you want a wristwatch? What do you want? Do you want a shoe? You want a pair of glasses? So Rahab does not know what I want. I was just stretching my hand. It's the same thing as this. So how does he know what I want? When I talk, when I have a prompt, isn't it? So to have a prompt, you put the prompt in that bracket input. Is that understood? So that will prompt the user for something that is required to input. So that was why you saw in my previous method I wrote input, enter the price of the commodity. So when you run this code now, this now prompts the user. What does it prompt? Enter the price of the commodity. So when you now click on this, you now type the input. Is that understood? So if I type 1,000, enter, price is now 1,000. So price now has the value that has been inputted by what? By the user. If I don't put this prompt, and I run, it is also requesting for the same input, only that there was no prompt. I can as well type 1,000. Price is still 1,000 again. Do you understand? So let me write a code to illustrate to that. So I can write price plus equal to 1. What does this mean? I added 1 to price, isn't it? Then write print price. I'm coming. Yeah, good. Thank you for saying that. This will have an error, right? Who can tell me the reason why this will have an error, Sumaya? Why will it have an error? Because price is a string, because anything you input is a string. So you are trying to add a number to a string, then this will be an error. So when you run this now, it gives us an error. Oh, not yet, because is there any prompt? No prompt. Yes, error. So what are you supposed to do first? Convert to integer or float, isn't it? So then I write price is equal to float of price. Can you see? Now will it give an error? No. So when you run, is there any prompt? No, but it is still requesting for input. So if I write 1,000, what is the output? 1001.0. Why is it 0.0? Because I converted the input to a float. Why is it 1001? Because I have added 1 to price. Is that understood? So if I added a prompt, that means I have to add it in that bracket by typing please enter the price of the commodity. Then I run this. Then there is a prompt. Then this is well interactive, isn't it? Unlike the previous one. Then I write 1,000. What is the output? 1001.0. So which one do you think is better? The one that has a prompt. If it doesn't have a prompt, will your code run? Will it give an error? No, but it is not interactive. Is that understood? Any question? So this is input and output. And you can also do it this way. Instead of writing 2 lines of code, you can delete this code and convert this to float from the onset. That is, the whole input, you convert it to float. Is that understood? Or the whole input, you convert it to what? To integer. Instead of writing 2 lines of code, just do the one you are comfortable with. No one is compulsory. Not writing your conversion inside. It is not input, then integer. This is wrong. With this, you are trying to convert the string to integer. Do you know that's what you're trying to do? Our classwork is this. Write a script that prompts the user to enter side A, side B, and side C of a triangle. So that means we have a triangle. The user, that means the triangle has side A, side B, and what? Side C. The user should enter the 3 sides. A, calculate the perimeter of the triangle. And what is perimeter? Side A plus what? Plus B plus C. Then calculate the area of the triangle. Where the area of the triangle is equal to the square root of s minus a, s minus b, s minus c, where s is equal to a plus b plus c over 2. Then when you are done, then display the what? The perimeter and area with a suitable message. Do you understand the classwork? Good. 2 minutes, do that now. So I hope you guys are done. So let's solve the problem again together.